I watched a man throw away 8 years of his life. 8 years. He knew something was wrong at year 2. He felt it in his gut, but he ignored it. He told himself it would get better. He convinced himself that love meant fighting through anything. And you know what happened? She left him anyway, took half of everything he built, destroyed his confidence, and walked away while he stood there wondering where those 8 years went. He ignored the signs. He paid the price. And the worst part, he admitted he saw every single one of these red flags from the beginning. He just refused to acknowledge them. Don't be that guy. Don't waste years of your life pretending everything is fine when your gut is screaming at you that something is fundamentally broken. Here's the brutal truth most men won't tell you. You already know. Deep down, you already know if she's not the one. But you're scared. You're scared of being alone. You're scared of starting over. You're scared of what people will think when another relationship fails. So you lie to yourself. You make excuses. You focus on the good moments and pretend the bad ones don't count. You tell yourself that every relationship has problems, that you're being too picky, that you should be grateful someone wants to be with you at all. And that's exactly how you end up trapped in something that slowly destroys you from the inside out. Society has programmed you to believe that walking away makes you a quitter, that real men fight for their relationships no matter what. But nobody tells you that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit you made a mistake and refuse to compound it by staying. The pressure to make it work, to prove you can maintain a relationship, to show everyone you're not a failure, that pressure will keep you locked in misery for years if you let it. And here's what makes it even worse. You confuse intensity with compatibility. You confuse chemistry with connection. Just because the sex is good doesn't mean she's good for you. Just because you have passionate arguments doesn't mean you have passion. Sometimes what you think is love is just chaos, and you've mistaken the adrenaline for genuine emotion. Listen carefully. There are 7 signs that tell you she is not the one. Not opinions, not feelings, observable patterns of behavior that predict exactly where this relationship is headed. And if you see 3 or more of these in your relationship right now, you need to wake up. She doesn't respect your time. Pay attention to this one, because it reveals everything about how she values you. When you make plans, she's consistently late without apology. When you're working on something important, she interrupts constantly because what she wants matters more than what you're doing. When you ask for an hour to finish something, she gets angry or passive-aggressive because your priorities shouldn't exist when she wants attention. This isn't about being occasionally late or needing you sometimes. This is about a fundamental lack of respect for your existence outside of serving her needs. Time is the only resource you can never get back, and someone who doesn't respect your time doesn't respect you. Period. She'll waste hours of your day with manufactured drama, pull you away from your goals with trivial complaints, and then act like you're the problem. When you get frustrated, a woman who is truly for you understands that your time has value, that your goals matter, that you need space to build and create and grow. She protects your time because she wants you to become the best version of yourself. But the wrong woman. She'll sabotage every moment you try to invest in yourself because your growth threatens her control. She tears you down in front of others. Watch how she talks about you when other people are around. Does she build you up or cut you down? Does she brag about your accomplishments or make jokes at your expense? Does she show you off with pride or treat you like an accessory she's embarrassed by? The wrong woman will disrespect you publicly and then tell you you're being too sensitive. When you call her out, she'll make cutting remarks disguised as jokes, belittle your achievements in front of your friends, and undermine your authority in social situations. And here's the key: she does this because she doesn't actually respect you in private either. Public disrespect is just the overflow of private contempt. A woman who loves you doesn't need to diminish you to feel bigger. She doesn't need to mock you to get laughs. She doesn't humiliate you and then gaslight you into thinking you're overreacting. If she can't honor you in front of others, she doesn't honor you at all, and you will never build anything meaningful with someone who actively works to destroy your reputation and self-worth. She has no accountability. Everything is your fault. Every argument ends with you apologizing, even when you did nothing wrong. Every problem in the relationship somehow traces back to something you did or didn't do. She never owns her mistakes. She never admits she was wrong. She never takes responsibility for her emotions or her choices. Instead, she twists every situation until you're the villain and she's the victim. This is manipulation at its finest, and it will destroy you slowly. You'll start questioning your own reality. You'll start believing that you really are the problem. You'll walk on eggshells trying not to upset her, modifying your behavior constantly, sacrificing your needs to keep the peace. And it will never be enough because the problem isn't you. The problem is that she refuses to look in the mirror. A healthy woman owns her mistakes. She apologizes when she's wrong. She recognizes her patterns and works to change them. But a woman with no accountability will drag you into a psychological prison where you're always wrong, always failing, always insufficient, and you cannot build a future with someone who refuses to grow. She doesn't support your vision. A real partner amplifies your ambitions. She believes in what you're building, even when it's just an idea. She sacrifices with you during the hard times because she understands you're creating something bigger. She encourages you when you doubt yourself and celebrates with you when you win. But the wrong woman, she resents your goals. She sees your ambitions as threats to her comfort. She wants you to stay small, stay safe, stay focused entirely on her. When you talk about your dreams, she dismisses them. When you work late to build something, she complains. When you start making progress, she finds ways to sabotage it with drama and demands for attention. Pay attention to this, because it tells you everything about the future. If she can't support you when you're struggling to build, she definitely won't celebrate with you. When you succeed, she'll just resent you even more. A woman who is meant for you wants you to win. She pushes you to be better. She holds you accountable to your own standards. She makes space for your growth because she understands that your success benefits both of you. But a woman who keeps you small will keep you miserable, and you'll wake up 10 years from now wondering why you never achieved anything, while she complains that you don't make enough money. Your gut screams something is wrong. Stop ignoring your instincts. Your body knows before your mind accepts it. You feel tense around her. You dread going home. You feel relief when she's not around. You fantasize about being single. You avoid introducing her to people who matter to you because you're embarrassed by how she acts. You make excuses for her behavior to your friends. You hide parts of your life from her because you know she'll react badly. These aren't signs of normal relationship stress. These are alarm bells telling you that you are in the wrong place with the wrong person. But you ignore it, you rationalize it, you tell yourself every relationship has rough patches. You focus on the few good days and pretend the bad weeks don't count. And your intuition gets louder and louder until you can't ignore it anymore. But by then you've wasted years. Listen to your gut right now. If something feels fundamentally off, it is. You're not crazy. You're not overreacting. You're not being too picky. Your instincts are trying to protect you from a future you don't want. Trust them. She brings out the worst in you. Look at who you've become since being with her. Are you better or worse? Are you calmer or more anxious? Are you confident or insecure? Are you growing or shrinking? The right woman elevates you. She makes you want to be better. She inspires you to level up in every area of your life. But the wrong woman turns you into someone you don't recognize. You're angrier. You're more reactive. You're petty and vindictive, bitter. You yell more. You lie more. You compromise your values more. And you justify it by blaming her. But here's the reality. She's revealing who you become under pressure. And you don't like it. That's the signal. A relationship that consistently brings out the worst in you is not a relationship worth keeping. You cannot build a great life with someone who makes you a worse person. Character is built in the right environment with the right people. If your environment is toxic, your character will reflect that, and no amount of chemistry or history or fear of starting over justifies staying in something that degrades who you are. She doesn't value what you value. Your core values are non-negotiable. How you view family, money, loyalty, faith, integrity. These aren't things you compromise on for anyone. And if she doesn't share your fundamental values, you will fight about everything forever. You want to build wealth, she wants to spend everything. You value loyalty. She thinks emotional affairs don't count. You want children, she's undecided but leans no. You prioritize health, she prioritizes comfort. You believe in personal responsibility. She believes in blaming circumstances. These aren't small differences you work through. These are foundational incompatibilities that will create constant conflict and resentment. You think you can change her mind or she'll come around eventually, but she won't. People don't change their core values for a relationship. They just pretend to until they can't anymore. And then everything falls apart. Stop trying to force alignment where there is none. Stop thinking love conquers all when your definitions of love are completely different. If your values don't match, walk away now before you have kids and a mortgage and a decade of your life invested in someone who fundamentally wants a different life than you do. So what happens if you ignore all of this? What happens if you see these signs and convince yourself it'll get better? I'll tell you exactly what happens. You waste years. Years you'll never get back. Years where you could have been building with the right person or developing yourself or creating the life you actually want. Instead, you'll be managing drama, walking on eggshells, and slowly losing yourself in a relationship that was never meant to last. The resentment builds. Every day you stay as another day, you lose respect for yourself because you know you're accepting less than you deserve. You become bitter. You become cynical about love. You start believing all women are like this, that all relationships are hard, that suffering is just part of commitment, and that's a lie. The right relationship isn't easy, but it doesn't destroy you. It challenges you to grow, but it doesn't diminish you. It requires work, but that work feels worth it because you're building something together. But with the wrong person, every day is a battle. Every conversation is a potential fight. Every decision is a negotiation where you lose. You stop pursuing your goals because it's not worth the conflict. You stop spending time with friends because she makes it miserable. You stop doing things you love because keeping the peace is more important than keeping yourself. And then one day you wake up and realize you've become a shell of who you used to be. You've sacrificed everything that made you you. And for what? For someone who doesn't even appreciate the sacrifice. For someone who will probably leave you anyway once she gets bored or finds someone she thinks is better. That's the cost of ignoring the signs. That's what you're choosing when you stay in something you know is wrong. Here's what you do right now. You get brutally honest with yourself. No more excuses, no more rationalizing, no more focusing on potential instead of reality. Sit down tonight and ask yourself these questions. Does she respect my time? Does she build me up or tear me down? Does she take accountability or blame me for everything? Does she support my vision or resent it? Does my gut tell me something is wrong? Does she bring out the best or worst in me? Do we share the same core values? Answer honestly. And if you answered no to most of these, you already know what you need to do. Write down the facts, not your feelings, not your hopes. The observable facts about how she treats you and how you feel in this relationship. Look at that list. And then ask yourself one more question. If your son or your best friend described this exact relationship to you, what would you tell them to do? You'd tell them to leave. You know you would. So why are you holding yourself to a different standard? Walking away from the wrong person is not failure. It's wisdom, it's courage, it's self-respect. Staying in something that's destroying you because you're afraid of being alone or starting over or admitting you made a mistake, that's the real failure. You are not a quitter for refusing to waste more time on something that isn't working. You are not giving up for choosing yourself over someone who doesn't choose you. You are not being selfish for protecting your peace and your future. The right woman is out there, but you will never find her while you're trapped with the wrong one. You will never build the life you want while you're pouring all your energy into managing someone else's dysfunction. Every day you stay is a day. You're choosing her over your own potential, her comfort over your own growth, her feelings over your own future, and that's a choice you will regret. So make a different choice. Choose yourself. Choose your peace. Choose your future. Walk away from what's killing you and toward what can save you. The path forward starts the moment you decide you deserve better. And you do. You deserve a woman who respects you, supports you, and brings out the best in you. You deserve a relationship that adds to your life instead of draining it. You deserve love that feels like partnership, not prison. But you will never have that until you have the courage to let go of what isn't working. So let go. Walk away and start building the life you actually want with someone who actually deserves you. That's the only way forward. That's the only choice that leads to the future you're capable of creating. Now go do what you already know needs to be done.